All right, welcome to Your Time, Your Money, the show where your time is just as valuable as your money, and we know that. Excited for you tuning in today. One quick request for you is if you like the information we've been providing, want to continue on with free education for all intensive purposes, please click like and subscribe. Very important to us. And also submit your questions and comments for additional topics that we can do. So today is going to be a burst session. I'm flying a little solo today. I just think it's important that I talk to our listeners individually. And ultimately, when we're talking about finance, being financially set has a lot of different meanings to people, right? But the reality is that about 90% of Americans are financially illiterate. They don't understand terminology, what it takes to invest, how to invest, and most clients and most people that are listening live paycheck to paycheck. And this is an industry thing that we have to try to encourage people to educate themselves and pull themselves up so that they can be financially set, whatever that word means to an individual. For everybody, it's a little bit different. They say 70% of lottery winners end up worse off later after they've won the lottery than they were prior to winning the lottery. So that just kind of gives you some insight into America and our culture and how people spend money or the lack of savings thereof. I think the common myth is that people tend to say to themselves or hear from others is you'll be okay. But most people don't want to be okay. They want to thrive. They want to be able to do the things that they want to do in retirement. They want to be able to do the things that for their kids that they've always dreamed about doing. Maybe if they don't have kids, they wanted to help charities out or whatever that might be. And, people are quick to kind of put you down on investing and say, hey, don't invest now. It's too risky. Or did you see what's going on with the economy? It's crazy to put money into the market now or to invest in a property or to invest in, other things. But I'm here to tell you that, you can make those wise decisions in any market condition and build wealth and get to your goals. So ultimately, our goal is to motivate you and educate you in helping you get to your goals. And, I think it starts with that self-image, is thinking, how can I be wealthy? How can I be rich? How can I improve my family? And it's not always about money. It's not always about being affluent, but it's about having quality time, quality events in life that can bring, joy to your family. Money is not the source of happiness, but there are a lot of things that money can provide for you and allow you to do that can create happy environments for you and your family. So hopefully we're encouraging you today to take the next step in finance. And, I wrote down 4 different things that I think are important to understand in becoming financially set. The first one is, I think a very important point is don't invest in things that you do not understand or you do not have wise counsel on. Meaning, if you're not working with an advisor and somebody to explain and be a fiduciary and watch out for your best interest, try to stay away from investing in things that you just don't understand. If you're hearing about an investment at the water cooler at work, from somebody that just had a good experience with it or basically just said, hey, I made a lot of money over the last couple of months in it. Please do not invest in those things until you fully research them and understand the risks associated with them. A lot of times we'll see clients that get into investments they don't understand and they have a horrible experience, right? It's kind of like the casino approach where you have everybody that went to a casino won. However, when you look at a casino, they're built off of, the winnings that they've taken from people. So please invest, understanding what you're investing. I think that's very important. Number 2 is understanding debt, right? Debt is both a powerful tool and also a deadly tool. And understanding debt and how to utilize it and how to get out of it is just as important in building financial wealth as it is in making sure that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. So ultimately understanding how to use it and how to avoid it, it's a double-edged sword, so to speak. There's two sides of that coin. There's the power of it, and then there's the deadliness of it. And I think that's very, very important to understand. If your goal is to be wealthy, if your goal is to provide for your family and not feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck. An advisor can help you with that and help you understand that better, and make those wise decisions in when and how much debt should you have, or how quickly you should pay that off. A lot of times people try to pay off debt too quickly, and in that time that they're trying to pay off debt over 10 or 15 years, what ends up happening? They don't save. And then all of a sudden they go back more into debt, or they get to a point where they can't retire or do the things that they want to do. So we want to be careful with debt and understand that it can be powerful from an investment standpoint, but it also can be very deadly. The third thing is I think a psychological thing that listeners need to understand, and that is to think rich. What do rich people do? They envision themselves, they envision their assets growing, and they're always trying to come up with creative ways to make a profit, to put their family and their business and themselves in a better situation. And if you start thinking, what do wealthy people do, right? You start making better decisions with your money, and you get out of this mindset of, oh, I'm only living paycheck to paycheck. The mind has a lot to do with investing. I'm a firm believer of that. Psychology on investing, can be advantageous or give you a disadvantage when it comes to investing at the right time or the wrong time. Wise decisions with your money, not outspending your current level of income, whether it's waiting to purchase an item versus buying it immediately. And those skills, need to be learned over a period of time. You're creating a habit of wealth, visualizing wealth, and motivating yourself to do that. Hopefully these episodes do that as well for you, help motivate you. But ultimately it comes down to your own presence and your own image of yourself and where you want to be. Doesn't necessarily mean I want to look wealthy and go and buy the most expensive things that I can't have, but we want that vision of how do wealthy people accumulate assets and what are the decisions that they made. I think the last point that I bring up today in this session is to work on developing the skills necessary to acquire assets. And those skills vary. They start here with these educational series that we do here, learning about different topics here, listening to our guest speakers, but also I would encourage people to start educating themselves about other industries and other things in their own portfolio that they can invest in. So maybe it's starting to take classes and learn about real estate and how that can play into your portfolio and accumulate assets. Maybe it's having a goal of a certain value in mutual funds or retirement or non-retirement portfolios. But you want to make sure that you're developing skills to acquire assets. And that's different than having skills, which most people do, of buying assets. Most people have a tremendous amount of skills in buying assets, is spending money on things that perhaps maybe they don't need or that put them in debt. But there's a different skill set when you start understanding how to acquire assets that bring value to your net worth, bring volume to your liquid net worth, can provide income for you passively or through dividends, reinvestment, capital gains, things along that line. So start developing skills of acquiring assets. And I think if you start taking those 4 points and building them into your repertoire as far as accumulating wealth, I think you'll have a good go at becoming wealthy and, getting to your goals and dreams that you have. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to throw out another shout out to like and subscribe. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, and then do a favor. Goal for you or action item for you this week is to share this podcast or one of our other podcasts with a coworker, a family, a friend through social media, or even just talking about it. And the best thing you can do is tell them to go to yourtimeyourmoney.net for your net worth. So that's yourtimeyourmoney.net for your net worth. You'll have links to all our shows on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play. like and subscribe, and then you'll get these feeds every week as we push them out. As always, you can reach the Estley Group at 844-444-YTYM for your time, your money, or at 43 British American Boulevard in Latham, New York, 12110. Please send in a request for a topic that you're hoping that we cover. If we haven't covered it already, I think there's about 60 to 70 educational videos out there that you can reference. And as always, it's your time and your money.